Penn Kingsmen, who come in with a 4-0 record, 2-0 in the Northern Indiana Conference, and the Mishawaka Marian Knights, 2-2 on the year, 1-1 in the NIC. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. JP Gilbert along with my broadcast partner Luke Schrock and Megan Keeble upstairs above us on the roof, bringing the sights and sounds from right here in Mishawaka. And Luke, Knights come into this matchup fresh off a 31-0 loss in the Holy War against parochial school rival South Bend St. Joe last week. They were held to just 51 yards of total offense, and if they're to get any kind of offensive numbers against Kingsmen, they've got to protect both quarterbacks, Lucas Marr and Mitch Fimble, and they've got to get the running game cranked up.
Well, and when I was here against South Bend Adams, they were only able to really run the ball and throw in the flat. If there's anything they have to do against the Penn's Kingsmen and still take care of the ball is be able to throw it downfield. You can only do so much when you're throwing it into the flat, because if that defense ends up reading you well, then it's going to do just as much as running it up the middle over and over again, and they're going to catch on eventually.
And as we switch gears to the NIC front-running Penn Kingsmen, Pete Reardon brings his team over to Capitol Avenue for the second straight weekend. They look to build upon their absolute bludgeoning of the Washington Panthers, a 62-0 victory, and they did it with the perfect blend. Offense, defense, special teams, you name it. But there's a couple of names that are real familiar in the area. Buddy Hurley, whose dad, Christian, played over at South Bend St. Joe, but a name that a lot of college fans know. Vinny Freeman, head coach, Marcus Freeman's kid.
Well, and you have a parent that has such a good knowledge of the game, and to be able to train under someone like that, be able to just glean, and I can imagine he's been around the Notre Dame players just a little bit over the years. So, getting that experience and be able to glean from people like that, but also, you're very well coached at Penn. You have a good scheme that's working this year. You have the right pieces, and things are just clicking on all cylinders right now. And what's going to be tough is being able to either keep up with the offense or be able to make key stops. But we're gonna see what works for the Marian Knights tonight.
Teams are on the field, as you can see, for the pregame warm-ups here in Week 5 between the Kingsmen and the Knights. When we come back, we go one-on-one with Pete Reardon, his second season as the head coach of the Kingsmen. Get his thoughts not only on this Marian squad that he's about to play against, but also talk a little bit about his depth that he has at Penn, which is unmatched by anyone in the area. As you're watching pregame coverage of Marian Knights football here on the Regional Radio Sports Network, and we want to thank our good friends at LiUNA.
We build Indiana. The Laborers International Union of North America are building roads and bridges to get Hoosiers where they're going today, and a new energy infrastructure that will keep Indiana competitive tomorrow. LiUNA's over 12,000 statewide members also grow local economies, earning good union wages, shopping where they live and work, and paying taxes. We build Indiana for good jobs and stronger communities. The Laborers International Union of North America. We are LiUNA.
Welcome back to the Regional Radio Sports Network's coverage of Marian Knights football. Glad to be joined by the second-year head coach of the Penn Kingsmen, and Pete Reardon. And Pete, let's go back to that Washington game. 62-0 win over Washington. What are some of the things you liked about your squad? What are some of the things you didn't?
Well, there's a lot to like from that game, in the sense, especially the way we started the game. We were able to come out, be very efficient offensively, score, very quickly, and then defensively is really what stood out to me. We were able to create several turnovers, return some of those for touchdowns, and the special teams got going as well, blocking a couple punts and returning one for touchdown, and putting the other one, in the offense in a great field position. It was a great team football, so there wasn't a whole lot to dislike from that point of view.
I asked Mike Davidson this exact same question. We're starting to get into the second half of the season. What are going to be some of the goals for your team especially, and what have these first 4 games, what have you as a coaching staff seen as you guys start to turn the corner and get ready for the playoffs in a few weeks?
Well, in the first couple of weeks, we had some adversity we battled back through. We got to a point in the Valparaiso game where we felt like we were in control, and then we kind of, had some self-inflicted wounds that Valparaiso, a good football team, is going to take advantage of, and they did. And we had to kind of bow back up at the end of that game and to seal the victory. And then obviously everyone knows we were down big against Mishawaka to start the game, and the way our guys didn't panic, coaches and players alike, basically made the adjustment they needed to, both schematically, physically, mentally, and got ourselves back in that ball game and came back to win, which was a great thing for us. And so at this point, we're trying to continue to get better each week. The goal for us is to win championships. The first championship we can win is our conference, so each week is a step in that direction.
You guys are a 6A school, the largest in the NIC. You guys have a lot of depth, more than probably any school, maybe except Crown Point in the state. But how important is that depth to this squad? And in what's been the tradition of the Penn program, they've always had some great depth at every position.
Well, having depth is a huge luxury that we have. Now, obviously, players are starters for a reason, and then they've earned those jobs because they've beaten out the other guys. They've worked hard, as well. And so there's always going to be a little bit of drop off. But I was just telling some other people that the expectation is always on the position, not necessarily the player here at Penn. And that's something that I was ingrained as young assistant when I first started helping out for Wally Yeoman, and when Coach Kingsmen was still here. And I think our coaches and players embrace that mentality. So it's the next man up, and regardless of who you are, your expectation is to perform.
And one of those players that have really performed, not just this season but in seasons before, has been Vinny Freeman. We know about his accolades on the field, but what can you tell us about him, just his attitude, his maturity, away from game situations in practice when you see him not in a game situation, because he just seems like such a mellow kid?
Yeah, I mean, he's hyper competitive. So let's, and so he won, and then that's very evident on the football field and obviously on the wrestling mat as well. And his drive to be successful, and the work he puts in the off season, and the weight room, the wrestling mat, and the off season for us. He leads by example. And when he says things, people listen. Let's be honest. But at the same time, his actions also speak for louder than words as well. And so that leadership has been key for us. And along with Vinny, we've had a great set of seniors that have stepped up and done a great job for us. And hopefully we'll continue that throughout the rest of the season as we look to improve.
You make the trip over Capitol Avenue for the second straight week. We make fun of that at work. It's an 8-mile jaunt, if you will. But you come over here, you're going to take on Mike Davidson's Marian Knights. What do you see on them on film that could cause your guys some problems? But what are you guys going to need to do to come out with a victory? And what are going to be some of the goals for the coaching staff as you turn that corner?
Well, I think that offensively they have the ability to possess the football. You saw that against Mishawaka, the first game of the year. They moved the ball very effectively, and despite the score last week against St. Joe, there was times where Marian was able to control the ball and had some nice long drives. Just was unable to convert some of those at the end, which could have changed the complexion of that ball game. So that's what concerns me. So defensively, we've got to make sure that we're physical up front. We do a great job tackling the first time and not letting them break tackles and eliminate that 2-yard gain that turns into a 4 or 5 yard game, which is what they're really good at, I think.
Pete, best of luck tonight.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
When we come back, we'll go one-on-one with Mike Davidson, the coach of the Marian Knights, as you're watching Knights football here on the Regional Radio Sports Network.
Did you know there's a place right here in Michiana that provides comfort and care for families of sick or injured children? Ronald McDonald House Charities of Michiana gives families everything they need, whether it's a hot shower, a comfortable bed, or a home-cooked meal. This allows parents to truly prioritize the health and well-being of their child. Because of people in this community just like you, RMHC Michiana provides their services at zero cost to the families. Find out how you can volunteer or donate to rmhcmichiana.org.
It took me a long time to be able to say Chandler has cancer, because that is such a scary word. When St. Jude finds something that works well with a certain cancer, they share that with everybody. And knowing that we don't have to pay for all of the medical expenses, that's huge. We just have to worry about helping Chandler, and he's just my heart.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
With Notre Dame Federal Credit Union, our online banking and mobile app are like having a branch at your fingertips with everything you need to manage your account 24/7. Enjoy better banking where and when you want. Features include bill pay, money transfer, budgeting, early payday program, and much more. Head to NotreDameFCU.com to learn more and get $200 when you add a direct deposit.
Call Troy Gill, your licensed insurance agent with Health Markets Insurance Agency in Northern Indiana. Choosing the right Medicare plan for you can be confusing, so let Troy help you find a plan that best fits your needs and budget. Call 574-360-0791 to speak with a licensed insurance agent for a free appointment virtually, by phone, or in person to review your specific needs and help find a plan that's right for you. Call 574-360-0791 today. Health Markets Insurance Agency, Inc. is licensed in all states and D.C. Service and product availability varies. Agents may be compensated based on enrollment. No obligation to enroll.
Since its founding in 1954, Hoosier Spring Company has developed into one of the world's leading manufacturers of custom springs for the aerospace, military, and commercial sectors. 3 generations of the Sooth Lectic and Nitz families have demonstrated their commitment to Catholic education by providing tuition assistance to numerous students attending area Catholic schools and by providing financial assistance to numerous other area Catholic school initiatives. Go Knights.
JMO Packaging is celebrating 50 years in business as the area's premier box manufacturing company. The DeRoll family is committed to leading JMO Packaging as a world-class organization through innovative corrugated solutions and helping people win. At JMO Packaging, everybody matters. Let's go, Knight Nation. Welcome back to Marian Knights football on the Regional Radio Sports Network. Glad to be joined by the 8th-year head coach of the Marian Knights, Mike Davidson. And, Coach, after last week's game against St. Joe, talk about the week of practice, especially for your defense and how they improved over the course of the week.
Yeah, I thought, nothing looking at the film, unfortunately, there was really nothing good to come from the shellacking we took. And so for defensively particular, to bounce back the week that we had from a focus, from an effort, and energy, they really bounced back well, and I expect them to play well tonight.
What are going to be some of the goals, not just for you, but the entire coaching staff for this group the second half as we start to turn our attention towards the state tournament in a few weeks?
Yeah, number one, I tried keeping them healthy a little bit this week, no full pads and all that stuff, so we got some boo-boos that we got to nurse, so we got to work around that, and we got to continue to develop depth. We got some young guys that we're working on in practice, and they're going to be forced into some action, whether it's tonight, next week, or the week after that, and we're going to have to depend on them at some point. So I think those are probably 2 biggest factors.
Homecoming is tonight. You guys are going to honor the 75 team. What does their presence mean, not just for you, but for the school and for these guys that are going to be on the field to kind of see some of the history of Marian football?
Yeah, it's a special group. I think they gave up. I think they had 6 or 7 shutouts in 11 games, and outscored their final 4 opponents in the state tournament and regular season, 157-0, including I want to say it was 27-0 in the state finals. Like, that's unbelievable in my opinion. And just to tie back to those guys, and I know a handful of them through my relatives and being around Marian now for 25 plus years. Like, they've been around. I played with some grandchildren. I've coached some grandchildren. Played with some sons. So it's special. It really, really is. I know I appreciate it talking to the guys. It's one of those things, like, it's not quite as this day and age, but at the same time, when you can say, guys, they had 6 shutouts in 11 games or 7 shutouts in 11 games. They averaged 35 points a game. Back when you were running the football in 3 yards in a cloud of dust and all that stuff, like, like this was a special group, and they're still connected with Marian, so I'm really excited to have them back.
One kid that I've noticed a lot defensively is in Doran Brooks, and he reminds me a lot of Joe Boone from last year. What do you see in him that kind of is a lot similar to the way that Joe Boone played last year?
Yeah, I think both play with a great edge that you got to have on the defensive side of the ball. Doran, he was not a linebacker up until this year. He was a defensive end, and we had a little bit more depth on the defensive line heading into this year. He came and said, I want to give linebacker a shot. So he's growing. I mean, he is growing. He is developing. He is not the same player he was 3-4 weeks ago. I liken that back to, honestly, Joe's junior year more so than his sophomore year. But the amount of growth, but at the same time, he's also figuring out, wait a minute, I also got to be the leader at that position on the defensive side of the ball. So lots on his plate, and he's answering the bell.
Pete Reardon brings his Penn Kingsmen over here. They've had a great start to their season. What do you see that could cause your team some problems? What are going to be some of the keys for you guys to come out with a win? But what are you guys as a coaching staff looking for tonight?
Yeah, first and foremost, night and day difference as far as our competitiveness. And that is, whether it's Penn or last week St. Joe or moving forward, whatever, our competitiveness can't be what it was last week. And I think that's the number one thing from a coaching staff perspective. As far as they bring a lot of challenges to the table. Defensively, if I told our guys at the beginning of the season, or beginning of the week, if you thought St. Joe's defense flew around, this is a different brand. I mean, these guys get 11 hats to the ball, and it's no different from I don't know, the last 25 plus years that I've been around high school football around here. That is a staple of Penn's defense. You're getting 11 hats to the ball. They sometimes, talent-wise might not be as good as what they are this year because they got talent at all three levels. But, man, they get to the ball and they cause problems. Offensively, we've got to limit their big plays. We've got to make them march. The chunk 22, 25, 16, 35, those are killers. And if we do that, it's going to be a long night.
All right, Mike A., best of luck tonight.
All right, thank you very much.
We'll be back with more here on the Regional Radio Sports Network. Before Bernie's in Granger is the place to go before or after the game. Locally owned and operated for more than a decade, they're a family-oriented business featuring a private party room with seating for up to 60 people, along with an outside patio area that can seat up to 26 guests. Located at State Road 23 and Bittersweet Road, Beefs has daily specials Monday through Friday, offers dine-in and carry-out service. They're also the spot to watch all your sporting events. For more information, the website's www.beefobradies.com or call 574-271-1415. Beef O'Brady's, good food, good sports.
With Notre Dame Federal Credit Union, our online banking and mobile app are like having a branch at your fingertips with everything you need to manage your account 24/7. Enjoy better banking where and when you want. Features include bill pay, money transfer budgeting, early payday program, and much more. Head to NotreDameFCU.com to learn more and get $200 when you add a direct deposit.
McDonald Physical Therapy, located at 1005 North Hickory Road and on the campus of the University of Notre Dame. We've led over 50,000 patients to recovery. That's 1 out of 5 people in our country don't accept the pain. You can choose recovery. From NFL players to Olympic medalists to high school athletes, we're improving your performance. We may be small, but we have a big reputation. That's McDonald Physical Therapy, located at 1005 North Hickory Road in South Bend and on the campus of the University of Notre Dame.
Since its founding in 1954, Hoosier Spring Company has developed into one of the world's leading manufacturers of custom springs for the aerospace, military, and commercial sectors. 3 generations of the Suth-Lentic and Nitz families have demonstrated their commitment to Catholic education by providing tuition assistance to numerous students attending area Catholic schools and providing financial assistance to numerous other area Catholic school initiatives. Go Knights!
JMO Packaging, celebrating 50 years in business as the area's premier box manufacturing company. The Durrell family is committed to leading JMO Packaging as a world-class organization through innovative corrugated solutions and helping people win. At JMO Packaging, everybody matters. Let's go, Knight Nation, as we welcome you back to Otulski Field here on the campus of Marian High School, as the Knights and Kingsmen set to renew acquaintances. 21st meeting between the two schools. Kingsmen lead the series 12-8. The Kingsmen have also won 4 straight. Last year, Penn beat Marian by 17, 24-7 over at Freed Field. Last time here at Marian, it was Corey Yeoman's last season. Penn took out the Marian Knights 41-13. And the last Marian win of the series back in 2020, Marian won 20-16 at Penn. It was the first time Mike Davidson had played against Penn as a coach, and that game was at Freed Field. And the last time Marian won here, you got to go back to well before Luke Schrock was even a thought. How about 1972, the last time the Knights beat Penn here? It was a 32-0 shutout of the Kingsmen. Coach Mike Davidson, 1-4, as we mentioned, against Penn. Pete Reardon, only 1-0 against the Kingsmen. We'll bring you the starting lineups for tonight's ball game. We'll start with the Penn offense. And up front, lots of experience for Coach Reardon. Wyatt Berger, 6 foot 232 junior, left tackle. Charlie Henning, 5'9", 280, and a senior, the left guard. A.J. Needham, the man in the middle, 6'5", 294 junior. Pat Connery, number 56, 6'2", 221, and a senior. And number 75, Adrian Brown, the right tackle, 6 foot 246, and a senior. Berger, Henning, Needham, Connery, and Brown. Mason Bernacki, one of the wideouts, 6 foot, 170 pounds, sophomore. Buddy Hurley, 6'4", 218 pounds, and a junior. Jeremiah Mitchell, number 11, 5'6", 150, and a senior. And Carson Bays, 6'1", 194, and a senior. Bernacki, Hurley, Mitchell, and Bays, the receiver and the tight end. Blake Ewald will be the main running back, 5'10", 217, and a senior. And Landon Hall, 6'4", 203-pound junior. He is the starting quarterback, 36 of 49 for 672 yards and 8 touchdowns. Starting defense for the Marian Knights, they'll run a 4-3 defense. Seth Kurzetter, 6 foot 220 and a senior, is at one defensive end. Caden Lee, one defensive tackle, 6'1", 275 and a senior. And Sayapeli Sete, 5'9", 250 and a sophomore, is at the other defensive tackle. The other defensive end will be number 85, Reed Sutherland, a late pregame replacement, 5'11", 195, and a sophomore. The linebacking crew, Braden Cerny, 6'1", 193 junior. Doran Brooks, who Coach Davidson made mention in the pregame, 6'1", 235, and a senior, leads the team with 32 tackles on the year. J.J. Gruber, 5'11", 211, senior, the other linebacker in the secondary. Terrence Lane, 5'5", 137, senior. Mitch Vimble, 5'11", 183 pounds, and a senior. Parker Mrozinski, 5'8", 162-pound junior, is the free safety. And Gage McHugh, 5'11", 152, and a junior. Lane, Thimble, Mrozinski, and McHugh, the secondary for the Knights. We flip the lineup card over. The front five for the Marian Knights offensively. Big Prescott Horvath, 6'8", 266, and a senior, was a member of the 2025 IFD All-State team at the 3A level for the preseason. He will be the left tackle. Caden Lee, 6'1", 275, senior. Preston Shue, 5'9", 258, and senior, is the center. Sam Curlow, 6 foot, 246, senior. And Doran Brooks, 6'1", 235, is the right tackle. Horvath, Lee, Shue, Curlow, and Brooks. The backs and tight ends, Jackson Simonowski, 6 foot, 149-pound junior. Terrence Lane, 5'5", 137, senior. Brother Terrell Lane, 5'5", 136, and a junior. And Damian Sete, the tight end, 5'10", 203, and a sophomore. Simonowski, the Lane brothers, and Sete are the receivers and tight end. Vinny Gruber will be the number one running back, 5'7", 151 pounds, and a sophomore. Has rushed for 280 yards on the year and a touchdown. The Knights will employ a two-quarterback system. It'll either be Mitchell Fimble, 5'11", 183-pound senior, or Lucas Marr, 5'10", 163-pound senior, at the rotating quarterback spot. Christian Bonner, 6'1", 240 senior, leads the Kingsmen defensive front four. Kendall Schaefer, 5'11", 246, and a senior, another one of the D tackles. John White, 5'11", 220, and a senior. Quinn Watson, 6'2", 210, and a senior is the other defensive end. Bonner, Schaefer, White, and Watson, the front four. Linebacking core for the Kingsmen. Noah Wallace, 6'1", 205, sophomore. Kenny Welsh, 5'10", 193, senior. Jonathan Searfoss, 6'2", 209, and a junior. And the leading tackler on the Kingsmen defense, number 7, Vinny Freeman. And if that name does sound familiar, that's the son of head coach Marcus Freeman over at Notre Dame. He's 5'11", 197 pounds, and a senior. Secondary, two corners, Colton Hernandez, 5'10", 179, junior. Caleb Spinsky, 5'10", 150, and a junior. And Aiden Witten, 5'10", 170, and a junior, is the strong safety. As we send it over for our opening prayer.
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. God our Father, we gather here in your name and ask the Holy Spirit to be with us. We're thankful for the many blessings and gifts that you've bestowed upon all of your sons and daughters. Most of all, we're thankful today for the gift of our bodies and minds, that in our activities we may use them to give greater glory to you, who love us above all things. Through the intercession of Mary and all the saints, may we be protected from all harm and inspired to follow the path of holiness, day in and day out. We ask this in the name of Jesus, your Son, our Lord. In the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Amen.
So the two teams line up on their respective sidelines. The Kingsmen on the far side, bringing over a good crowd from the Osceola Granger area. They will wear the white jerseys with the black pants and the traditional gold helmets, as they'll have Penn on the front, numbers in black on the front and back of the uni. Marian in the home blue this time with the exorbitantly large white numbers on the jersey. These are a broadcaster's dream as far as the size of the numbers. The silver and white trim on the shoulder area. Marian in bold block lettering on the front of the uni. And numbers, as I mentioned, in white on the front and the back. The blue helmet with the white stripe directly down the middle. M in Old English font on the left side of the helmet. And the number in white on the right side of the helmet. as we await the captains going across for the coin flip. It'll be Seth Kerzetter, Doran Brooks, as well as Mitch Fimble. And John Dubash as the 4 captains for the Kingsmen as we await the coin toss. And Luke, you look across, that's a very intimidating sign when you see that many players clad in white jerseys all ready to get a piece of the action.
Well, and in just the whole athletic department over there, it's a battle to get onto the field, no matter what sport you're playing in. So the people that you see donning the number and on the field, they have fought hard, they fought long, and they have prepared for a long time for this moment. And for some of them, it's one of their final moments on the field.
So the Kingsmen have won the opening toss for tonight's contest, and they have deferred to the second half. That means the Knights will get first crack at it. This is a team that averages a little over 220 yards per contest, 55 yards through the air, 167 on the ground. Have only averaged about 12 points a contest. Again, they come in having been shut out last week in the Holy War over at South Bend St. Joe. And the Kingsmen, as we mentioned in the pregame, fresh off a 62-0 shutout win of their own over at School Field against South Bend, Washington. Harris Stipp, the Kingsman kicker, he will line the ball up at the 40-yard line. As the crowd continuing to file in, it's homecoming here at Otalski Field. As Terrence Lane standing back at about his own 4-yard line. As Stipp lines up, and he'll let it fly, and we're underway here at Otalski Field. Lane will take it inside the end zone, and it'll be a touchback, and Marian will take over 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line.
And we're going to see it's going to be a very key for tonight for both lines, the offensive and defensive line for Mishawaka Marian tonight, to allow their offense to be able to put something together. We mentioned in the pregame that the most success the Knights have came up with this season was throws in the flat in the run game, and to be able to do that, especially with a very tough and physical team as Penn, you have to be able to win the battle in the trenches.
So Mitch Fimble will bring his offense out to the line. It'll be a jumbo set to start off the game, as Fimble will have Vinny Gruber right behind him. As first snap from scrimmage as the senior in the shotgun formation. He now sends 2 wide to the left. Handoff will be to Gruber. Gruber's to the 20. He'll gain a couple. And as we saw last week, just hard-nosed running from Marian. And their number one priority, keep possession of the ball in this ball game.
A good job of Kendall Schaefer for getting off his block and be able to fill in the hole up the middle to stop the run and just keep them to a 1 or 2 yard gain.
Kendall Schaefer, the first Kingsman to put a helmet on Gruber. It'll be 2nd and 8 from the 22. As Fimble again in the shotgun with Gruber right behind him. A man in motion, it'll be Lane. He'll come around the right side, and he'll lose his footing. He may have gotten back to the line of scrimmage, might have picked up a yard. As Terrence Lane on the run.
Well, the Knights love to go into motion, get the defense on their toes, get them thinking, and that was a key component against South Bend Adams a couple of weeks ago.
As will be an official's timeout, as injury on the field. As Noah Wallace was the Kingsman that had to come off the field. 3rd and 6. Kingsmen have only allowed 13 conversions on 46 opportunities on 3rd down. And the Knights with a 3rd and 6. Fimble, quick pass. It's deflected at the line. as Christian Bonner got his right hand on that football, and the Knights are going to have to punt this one away.
And that's good defense. You have to be, as a quarterback, being able to think about how am I needing to arc this ball? Who do I have to keep this away from? And the D-line for Penn did a great job of recognizing where the throw was going, read the eyes, and batted the ball away.
Colton Hernandez, Mason Bernacki back to field this punt as Oliver Sager stands just inside his 10-yard line. It's a low snap. Sager, a nice line drive kick. It splits the two Kingsmen, but instead Hernandez is going to pick it up. He's to the 45 to midfield. To the 45, cuts inside, and he'll be brought down. Great return by Hernandez. As the Kingsmen will take over, it'll be at the 35-yard line. It'll be a 28-yard return for Hernandez, and the Kingsmen will take over. It'll be 1st and 10. So great field possession for the Kingsmen at the Marian 35-yard line. It's Landon Hall in the shotgun formation. He's going to Blake Ewald. Instead, he's going to throw it, and he's going to be flushed out of the pocket. He's to the 30. He's got enough for a first, and he slides down, and he'll get the first.
Good composure. You saw the pressure coming from both sides. You had a wide open field up the middle. Just get it with your feet and get the first down, give you a fresh set of downs.
It'll be a pickup of about 12 for Landon Hall. Longest rush of the year for the junior. Came in 9 carries for negative 39 yards on the season. 1st and 10 for the Kingsmen at the 23. As another fake on the handoff, pass is complete as Hurley is going to bounce off of tacklers. He's inside the 5, and he's to about the 2-yard line. It'll be a 21-yard pitch and catch on the slant. And the Kingsmen have looked extremely impressive here on the first 2 plays.
Well, it was a well-executed RPO as well, and then getting that 5 extra yards after contact. You know, he nearly scored, but Marian at least stopped him at the line, give themselves a chance in yet another play.
So pickup of 22 on the play, and this time the handoff's going to go into the end zone. It's going to be Jadon Parker, and just like that, it is 6-0, extra point pending. So the Kingsmen make it look methodical in the early going. And they did not waste any time at all. Harris Stipp is on for the extra point. Buddy Hurley, the long snapper. And Yadi Limberopoulos to hold. Snap is down, kick is up, and it is through the uprights. And good. Stipp's extra point good. 7-0. Kingsmen lead it. We'll step aside for 30 seconds as you're watching Knights football here on the Regional Radio Sports Network.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, wherever the mission takes us, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for our nation, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
3 plays, 35 yards, a minute 23 off the clock. And the Kingsmen strike first. They lead at 7-0. And, Luke, that was about as methodical as you could make a drive.
Well, and Coach Reardon talked about in the pregame that he wanted to see a efficient offense, and that's exactly it. 4 or 5 plays in a drive, very, very efficient.
As Terrell Lane fumbled the kick. Actually, it was Mrazinski who fumbles the kick. He'll get a couple yards, but the Penn Gunners were all over him before he could even make any kind of movement upfield. So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Knights at about their 12-yard line. So Fimble back out there here on the second drive. As Fimble in the shotgun, he's got 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. He'll send Terrence Lane in motion, fakes the handoff. He'll give it to Gruber, who goes right up the middle. And Gruber is across to the 15-yard line. Be a pickup of about 3, maybe 4 on the play for the sophomore.
Well, that's what you want to see on your first down. You want to get at least a few yards, give yourself an opportunity to set up for the pass. But I'd like to see Marian try to attack a little bit more on the passing game. We've seen a small mixture in that first drive, but we have to mix. You can see them mixing up the looks more on the redirect on that last play.
2nd and 7 after the 3-yard pickup by Gruber. As again, Fimble will send a man in semi-motion. The handoff will go up ahead to Gruber. He's trying to get to the outside. He may have enough for, or may have made it past the 20, but instead they're going to say the forward progress is going to be just 2. So 3rd and 5 from the 17. Knights already 0 of 1 on 3rd downs tonight, and the Kingsmen have been very astute on 3rd downs. They are now 13 of 47 conversions. So 3rd and 5 as Fimble's out of the shotgun. He's got Gruber to his left-hand pocket. And the fake to Gruber as Fimble will call his own number, and he is going to get sandwiched by a group of Kingsmen led by Kendall Schaefer up front.
And Frank Krzyzewski talked about earlier that Penn will have numerous guys on the ball when at a certain time. Now you saw an example of that there. You got that quarterback designed run, and the whole backfield was just swarmed with gold helmets. And there either has to be some more trickery or get the ball down the field somehow through the air. But at this point, it's just, like I mentioned earlier, a battle of the trenches, and we'll see how they adjust.
Oliver Sager back to punt. And this time it's a much better snap. And this one's in the air. It's going to send back is Bernacki. He'll be to about the 27. He's going to cut to the right. And he's by Kurzetter now to the 50. He's still on his feet. And he's going to get tripped up. As Braden Cerny after the 50-yard punt.
What I liked from Cerny there is he didn't give up on that play. He made the read. He went for the heel, and he got a hold of something. He didn't allow the play to beat him. He made something happen, or else it would have been another Penn Kingsman touchdown. Great job by Cerny, the junior, on that play.
How about a 44-yard return by Bernacki after the 50-yard punt by Sager? So Landon Hall in at quarterback for the Kingsmen. 6:53 remaining here in the opening quarter. And the handoff to Parker. He goes up the middle, continues to bounce off of Marian Knights, and he's down to about the 22-yard line. And it'll be a 7-yard pickup for Parker. Cerny with his second straight tackle. He was the one that stopped Bernacki on the punt return. And now it's 2nd down and 3 for the Kingsmen. Landon Hall in the shotgun's got 2 receivers to the right. Parker in the left pocket. Hall going to fire to a wide open receiver over the middle. And getting to the left, cutting inside, and he is into the end zone. Mason Bernacki, he started this. He'll end it with a 22-yard touchdown pass.
And what's underrated is after the catch, the run after the catch, he changed speeds. And he was confusing defenders. You know, you want to try and attack quickly, but you have to be able to time out your run. And when you're switching speeds like that, it was allowed him to get around his man and reach the football over and give the Kingsmen their second touchdown.
So Stipp on for yet his second extra point. As Penn not wasting any time whatsoever. And the kick is up, and it is good. 6:01 remaining in the first quarter. Penn has scored on the first two times it's touched the football, and they lead at 14-0 as you're watching Knights football here on the Regional Radio Sports Network.
They came from every corner of the country, from small towns and big cities. But they all shared one thing in common. They belonged to a family called Marines. A tough and determined few dedicated to protecting everything we hold sacred. And still, they come. Celebrate the history of those proud few who have earned the title Marine.
So the Kingsmen make it 14-0, 2 plays, 52 seconds to go, 29 yards. The touchdown, a 22-yard pass, Landon Hall to Mason Bernacki. And the Kingsmen using some quick-fire offense tonight. As Stipp will send one flying, and it goes into the end zone. It'll be a touchback. And with 6:01 remaining in the quarter, Marian will have the ball for the third time already. They'll have the ball at the 20-yard line. So it'll be interesting to see who will come out at quarterback. We have seen both Lucas Marr and Fimble the entire season as they have rotated, and it'll be Lucas Marr in for his first action tonight. Marr, 5'10", 163-pound senior, 10 of 36 on the year with a couple of interceptions. He's also run the ball 19 times for 54 yards. As Marr, he'll take a couple step drop as Terrence Lane will have the ball, and he's going to get pushed backwards and thrown out of bounds by Noah Wallace. And the Kingsmen were not fooled at all on that one.
There was not much room to run at all. You had two guys on you right away and took away any kind of forward progression, if any, on that play.
So it'll be second and about 12. They're going to give him a loss of 2 on the play. Marr again with trips to the right. He's got Simonowski and the Lane brothers to his right. And movement aplenty as the first penalty flag of the night's going to get thrown. And it'll be an offsides on the Kingsmen.
Yeah, it looks like number 44, Quinn Watson, the senior, got a little antsy on that count and had a foot across the line. First foul of the night for the Kingsmen.
As clock continues to dip towards 5 minutes left as Marr's going to hand it off to Gruber. He'll get by the first man, but not the second as he gets to about the 25-yard line. Be a pickup of 2 for Gruber. Well, they'll give him an extra yard. They'll give him 3, and it's 3rd down and 4. Gruber now 4 carries on the night. Average of about 2.5 yards a carry. And again, 3rd down for the Knights. Already 0 for 2 on 3rd down. Marr will send Lane in motion. Handoff right up the middle to Gruber. And he's not going to get to the first down marker. And the Knights finding it tough sledding. As they'll give him one. And it's... No, they'll actually give him two. It'll be fourth down. And we have seen this formation. We've seen pooch punts. And Mike Davidson says, why not? Let's go for it. And Gruber going to try to get to the 30, and he is going to get stopped immediately. As the first man to hit Gruber was Wrigley Hull out of the linebacker position. And the Kingsmen will get the ball back. And the flag on the play, it'll be a false start, but it'll be declined. It'll be first down Kingsmen.
Well, there was potential on that run, too. Until he got swarmed, it wasn't enough forward progression on that. But as soon as he got hit and started to get pushed backwards, that's where any chance of a first down started to die for the Knights. But, it was not a bad play call. I mean, I like that call there. Run it to the outside, give yourself a chance, see if you can get a one-on-one and try to power through. But he just got swarmed by two men.
So the Kingsmen will have the ball already for the third time tonight. And now Hurley, he'll get it at about the 30, and he's got a lot of real estate. He's got one man to beat, and he's into the end zone for a Kingsman touchdown. Second passing touchdown of the night for Hall. All three of his completions today have gone for over 20 yards. And the Kingsmen are up 3 touchdowns in this one.
And they didn't try to do too much. It was just pass out in the flat, let him go to work, let Buddy Hurley go to work, and find his way into the end zone on one play.
So Stipp on for already his third extra point of the night. Snap down, kick up, and it's heading towards the western part of the state as the Kingsmen have opened it up here early, just 8.5 minutes into the ball game, and it's 21-0. We'll step aside as you're watching Knights football here on the Regional Radio Sports Network.
Where it's either put up or shut up. We were yelling our hearts out. Even in our weakness, even in our pain, we continued to push. I don't know where the pain went to, but all I know is that I had what it took. I am a United States Marine.
PFC Darrell Willis serves his country as a Marine. Will you? Visit Marines.com or call 1-800-MARINES.
Back here at Bob Otulski Field, J.P. Jabert, Luke Schrock, Megan Keeble. So glad you could join us on a beautiful Friday night in the Princess City. As the Kingsmen, we knew they were good, but they have gone above and beyond. 6 plays of total offense and already 92 yards as the Stipp's kick is going to go through the end zone. It'll be a touchback, and Marian, with their 4th possession of the night already, they'll start at their 20. So the Kingsmen will be on defense. As the Knights will come to the line. They'll have Mitch Vimble in at quarterback. Vimble in the shotgun. He's got 2 to the left, 1 to the right. In the shotgun formation as he'll send Terrence Lane in semi-motion. And Lane will get the ball around the right side. He's to the 25, to the 30. dragging a couple of tacklers down. As Lane will get the 13-yard pickup. That's the longest play from scrimmage for the night for Marian. And this first down is brought to you by Jamal Packaging and the DeRoll family. 1st and 10 for Marian. It's Fimble. He'll get the handoff into the hands of Gruber, and he's to the 40. And he'll be stopped after an 8-yard pickup. So the Knights with a couple of nice plays here on the first 2 snaps following that touchdown pass for the Kingsmen. So it'll be 2nd and 2. Ball on the right side of the 40. 21-0 Kingsmen. Just under 2.5 minutes to play in the first quarter. Fimble and company have picked up 21 yards on the drive. Handoff will go to Gruber, and he'll be just short of the first down as Gruber goes to the left side. He's about a football shy. Bernacki with the tackle for the Knights, and the Kingsmen will have it. 3rd and 1 from the 41. Terrence Lane out to the left. Terrell Lane out to the right. Gruber to the right hip of Fimble. Shotgun snap. Fimble calls his own number, gets a good block upside, and he'll be tackled at about the 47-yard line. So a good 6-yard pickup for Fimble. And the Knights now 1 for 4. They're going to give Fimble a gain of 4. As this first down brought to you by Jamal Packaging and the DeRoll family.
Well, the Knights are beginning to get settled in the blocking scheme. You know, they giving the rush a chance to work, and you saw it right there on the quarterback-designed run. Things are starting to come together for Marian on this drive.
Vinny Freeman on the tackle. Damian Sete now setting up far wide to the left as Fimble threw that short as Wrigley Hull jumped up from the linebacker position. So an incomplete pass. The Knights are 0 of 3 in the passing game for -2 yards. So just a tick under a minute remaining in the first quarter. Kingsmen lead it 21-0. Spread formation for the Knights. Fimble standing at his own 43. He'll send Terrence Lane in motion. Ball is fumbled, and it's going to be picked up by the Knights. And it's Vinny Freeman who's got the football.
Well done to see the ball hit the ground, get on it right away. But just an unfortunate event for Mishawaka Marian as they were just getting a drive going. Things were starting to look up for them. But it's not a time to panic quite yet. I mean, you can still put some stuff together. Some things can go your way. But this is a crucial stop for any chance of getting back into this one for the Knights.
Second fumble recovery on the year for Vinny Freeman. And the Kingsmen, with their 4th consecutive drive starting on the Marian side of the field. As the handoff to Jadon Parker around the right side. Might pick up a yard. He does gain 1. Braden Cerny, J.J. Gruber in on the tackle. As Kingsman now with 2nd and 9 from the 42. Hall, 3-step drop. Lots of time to throw the ball, and he is going to get wrapped up and dropped. Reed Sutherland on the sack. And that's the way the third quarter is going to end. Kingsmen scored on their first 3 possessions, and they'll take a 21-0 lead into the first quarter break. 21-zip Penn is you're watching Marian Knights football on the Regional Radio Sports Network, brought to us by our friends up at Liuna. That's a big play. They needed that. Okay.
Well, just any kind of pressure into the backfield, really. That's huge.
All right. Back here at Otulski Field, the Knights lead at 21-0, or the Kingsmen rather lead at 21-0. And it's 3rd and 16 after that Landon Hall quarterback sack. As Hall, he's going to fire it down the field, and a wide open Jeremiah Mitchell, and he's going to go. He was going to go the distance, but they're going to say he's out of bounds at the 10. So a 41-yard pickup. They're going to give him 39.
Well done on the route. You got yourself open, fired away down the line. Unfortunately, stepped out of bounds, but, you got yourself a big pickup. And Frank Krzyzewski in the pregame was mentioning that they were trying to limit them, but really, the big plays are going to happen. It's just what happens when it comes down to the wire here in the red zone.
As Hall's going to go up, and Hurley's got it for the touchdown. Buddy Hurley with his second touchdown reception of the afternoon. There's a flag on the play, however. And then there's going to be an ineligible receiver downfield. And that will negate the touchdown.
Well, the Kingsmen were trying to take advantage of a height difference and a one-on-one on the outside. Buddy Hurley standing at 6'4" against Terrence Lane at 5'5". So I can imagine they try to go for it again, but you have what looks like a unguarded receiver on the left-hand side that could go to.
As the ball's going to go right up the middle. On the pick, on the run. Blake Ewald on the run. Be a pickup of 9. Now 2nd down and goal from the 6. 11-14 remaining in the half. Hall, he'll hand it off. As cutting out to the outside is Ewald, and he'll get run out of bounds. It'll be a pickup of 2.
Well, the Knights are beginning to read the backfield a lot better in this drive. Despite the long gain earlier, they're fighting in the red zone. They're not giving up. They're trying to fight back in some capacity and at least making it difficult for the Kingsmen here in the second quarter.
So Hall in the shotgun. He'll have Buddy Hurley, but instead Hall's going to pull it down, call his own number. He's got Hurley open, and he's got both feet in the end zone, and it's a touchdown.
Once again, going to the one-on-one matchup, Buddy Hurley, Terrence Lane, and found a great lob into the back corner of the end zone. Well done by the Kingsmen for another touchdown this half.
Hurley now with his second touchdown of the night. Hall now with 3 touchdown passes, and the Kingsmen are now leading 27-0 with the extra point pending. As the snap is down, kick is up, and it is good. 28-0 in favor of the Kingsmen. As we'll step aside, you're watching Knights football here on the Regional Radio Sports Network.
Did you know there's a place right here in Mishawaka that provides comfort and care for families of sick or injured children? Ronald McDonald House Charities of Mishawaka gives families everything they need, whether it's a hot shower, a comfortable bed, or a home-cooked meal. This allows parents to truly prioritize the health and well-being of their child. Because of people in this community just like you, RMHC Mishawaka provides their services at zero cost to the families. Find out how you can volunteer or donate to rmhcmichiana.org.
So the Kingsmen, after that 4-yard touchdown pass, Hall to Hurley. Second time those two have hooked up today. Six plays, 43 yards. Just a minute 55 off the clock. Longest drive time-wise of the night for the Kingsmen. As Stipp ready to let one fly. Kingsman went 2 of 2 on third down on that drive. As Lane, he'll take it at about the 2. He's to the 10 to the 15. He's going to get out to about the 20-yard line. It'll be an 18-yard return. As the Knights will take it over. 1st and 10 from their own 20.
They didn't have a bad drive last time around. You know, it just ended with an unfortunate fumble. They just need to build upon what worked in that drive to let this go again.
5th time Marian's had the ball in this half. As Fimble, he'll hand it off to Gruber. He's close to the 25-yard line, but met by a pack of Kingsmen, led by Kenny Welsh. After the 5-yard pickup, it'll be 2nd and 5. We're one of 2 crews tonight doing the Penn Marian matchup. Just down the corridor from us, Tanner Camp, Matt Lillier, Matt Copsey, the Penn Kingsman crew from Regional Radio Sports Network. Also here at Otalski Field, as Gruber's going to get it right up the middle. He eludes one tackle but loses his balance. And that'll be a loss.
Just lost the plant foot there, trying to cut up field, and it just slipped on the grass. Unfortunate, but will happen. But in that case, I mean, there wasn't really much room to go for him on that play.
So 3rd and 7 from the 22. Kingsmen are 1 of 4 on third down tonight. Fimble in the shotgun, trip receivers to the left. He'll roll out that way. He's going to let it fly. And Lane, it goes into his hands, but he was out of bounds. Would have been a great pickup as Lane couldn't get the feet in bounds.
Well, and to make that off-balance throw like that, very impressive. Right where he needed it to be, right it up and over to the defender, but just went right through the hands of Lane on that play. Unfortunate, but it shows promise that you can try throwing downfield again on that rollout later on.
4th and 7 with the offense still on the field, but out of this formation, We've seen Fimble pooch punt it, but Penn's going to call a timeout. We'll take it with them. 9:26 remaining until halftime as they're going to honor the 75 Marian Knights team on homecoming here on the Regional Radio Sports Network.
It took me a long time to be able to say Chandler has cancer because that is such a scary word. When St. Jude finds something that works well with a certain cancer, they share that with everybody. And knowing that we don't have to pay for all of the medical expenses, that's huge. We just have to worry about helping Chandler, and he's just my heart.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
Back here at Otulski Field, J.P. Gilbert, Luke Schrock, Megan Keeble. Here at Otulski Field, the Kingsmen have scored on their first 4 possessions of tonight's contest. They lead the Marian Knights 28-0 on homecoming. As Mitch Fimble in the shotgun. As a little bit of trickery as Gruber's got Lane open. And he is to the 40. He will go the distance. What trickery from Mike Davidson and company. 4th and 7 goes 78 yards. What trickery by Mike Davidson.
Sometimes it takes that. Vinny Gruber, well done on that pass. Had a wide open Terrence Lane, hit the burners, wide up and over the middle, but better yet, he broke the tackle in midfield to complete that play and put Mishawaka Marian on the board.
28-6, point after pending. Is that timeout brought to you by Troy Gill with Health Markets Insurance Agency? Call Troy with your life, health, and Medicare needs, 574-360-0791. It's 574-360-0791. Oliver Sager ready to blast one through the uprights. And that one is good. 9:13 remaining until halftime. We'll catch our breath after that one. As the Kingsmen still lead at 28-7. You're watching Marian Knights football here on the Regional Radio Sports Network.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, wherever the mission takes us, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for our nation, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Back here at Otulski Field as the blue smoke enters the field. The Knights go 4 plays, 80 yards in a minute, 45 seconds. 78-yard touchdown pass from Vinny Gruber to Terrence Lane. And the Kingsmen are the Knights are on the board. They still trail 28-7, but what a piece of trickery by head coach Mike Davidson, but just as important, what a pass by Vinny Gruber. As the kickoff on the line, drive's going to be picked up at about the 14, and getting wrapped up is going to be Jeremiah Mitchell, and the Kingsmen will take over just past their own 20.
Well, this is where you can compound on the success of that last drive. Get a stop here, fight again, give yourself another chance, and what seemed like an impossible comeback turns into slowly chipping away. You have plenty of football left to play. Give yourself a chance mentally so you have an opportunity to be very methodical and hit those moments where they come.
This is the 10th drive of the game total. This is the first time a drive has started in Penn territory. As Landon Hall still in at quarterback, as he'll send Buddy Hurley in motion, and he'll hand it off to Hurley, does Hall. And Hurley out to about the 30, maybe the 31, as the junior, who has rushed only one time for 9 yards coming in, he'll pick up 7 on the carry. So it'll be 2nd and 3 after the pickup by Hurley. So 2nd down and 3. Ball resting comfortably at the Penn 30. As a high snap, Hall brings it down. And getting past the 45 to about the 46-yard line. And getting that for a 1st down.
Well, and the line just opened up for him. Wide open lane, wide open backfield, and he was just able to take advantage of an easy run. Something the Kingsmen needed to get a reset of downs to see where they go here.
As Cohen Wysong on the carry. As Wysong will go right back up the middle again. He'll pick up a couple. As Coach Pete Reardon starting to go into that depth that we talked about in the pregame. So back-to-back carries by the junior Wysong. And don't look now, the Kingsmen have the ball at their own 49-yard line. Hall in the shotgun. Got 2 receivers to the left. He'll take a couple-step drop. He'll heave it up, and he'll let Hurley get underneath it, but just too far for the junior wide receiver.
Had a chance there in double coverage, but you saw a defender coming from the middle of the field trying to take away the deep ball, and did just that. Throw it a little bit deep, but well covered by Mishawaka Marian to take away another chunk play.
Well, the Kingsmen 2 of 2 already on the night from 3rd down. Has lots of movement, and a flag gonna come a-flying. And it'll be offsides on the Kingsmen, or on the Knights rather. And it'll be a 5-yard penalty. First penalty on Marian tonight. And it'll instead be 3rd and 1.
5-yard penalty on the Knights, offsides, sets up 3rd and 1.
So 3rd and 1 for the Kingsmen. As the handoff is going to go to Ewald, to Jadon Parker, and Parker gets into Marian Knights territory. 10-yard pickup for Parker. And it'll be enough for a Kingsman 1st down.
Well, and Parker runs with a ferociousness. He's running hard. He will drop the shoulder any chance he gets, and you could just tell how tough of a runner he is.
As Hall, he'll hand it off to Parker. Parker's at the 30, still on his feet as he avoids multiple tacklers, and he's down close to the 25-yard line. He's going to be close to another 1st down.
Well, I like what Hall did here. He let the play progress. He went through his progressions, but he ran out of time, and just throw it down to your man in the flat. Let him go to work. We just saw him work a great run. Let him go back to work again, and he rolled off of numerous defenders before finally getting down.
So 2nd and 2 as we get towards the halfway point of the 2nd quarter. As Landon Hall trying to leave the 5th straight scoring drive, and it'll be a timeout taken by the Kingsmen. 5:53 remaining in the 1st half. Kingsmen up by 21, and they're driving towards yet another score. 28-7, 5:53 to go, as you're watching Marian Knights football on the Regional Radio Sports Network.
Did you know there's a place right here in Mishawaka that provides comfort and care for families of sick or injured children? Ronald McDonald House Charities of Mishawaka gives families everything they need, whether it's a hot shower, a comfortable bed, or a home-cooked meal. This allows parents to truly prioritize the health and well-being of their child. Because of people in this community just like you, RMHC Mishawaka provides their services at zero cost to the families. Find out how you can volunteer or donate to rmhcmishawaka.org.
It'll be 2nd and 28, or 2nd and 2 from the 28 after the timeout. JP Gilbert, Luke Schrock making Keeble with you at Otulski Field. Penn Kingsmen leading it 28-7. Landon Hall send a man in motion. And instead, the handoff is going to go to Bernacki. And the ball is on the turf. And it looks like the Kingsmen have recovered. And it'll be enough after the Kingsmen pick it up. It'll be enough for a first down. It'll be a 6-yard pickup. Is now Hall. Lots of time. He's going to fire one over the middle, and the pass is complete. But a flag back at the 28-yard line. It'll be a holding penalty, and it's coming right back.
That's a tough one to swallow, too. You had a wide-open man. You did everything right, and one hold will bring you back. But once again, let the play develop. The offensive line is doing their job, doing well. But what I love from the Knights is they're figuring out a way to get people in the backfield. When it comes to taking care of a tough offense, a physical offense, you got to have some sort of pressure. And that's what the Knights have at least been able to do. But Hall has done well with handling that pressure. I mean, they've been battle-tested with Valpo, with Brother Rice. They've played some really good teams, but this is exactly what the Knights need to do, is get men in the backfield.
So it'll be 1st and 20 from the 32. And rumbling forward is going to be Blake Ewald. As Ewald will pick up 7. And it'll be 2nd and 13. (28-7) Penn as we dip under 5 minutes remaining in the first half. Hall, he'll take a couple step drop back. He's going to get flushed out of the pocket, and he underthrows his man. That's Buddy Hurley who gets driven to the ground. J.J. Gruber on the coverage for Marian. And that'll set up a 3rd down and long for the Kingsmen. That's the bad news for the Kingsmen. Good news for the Knights. On the reciprocal, Penn is 3 of 3 on 3rd downs. But this will be the longest 3rd down of the night for the Kingsmen. 3rd and 13 from the 25. Hall, he'll roll out to the left. He's going to fire it downfield. Pass is complete. As Mason Bernacki with the reception. And he will have enough. A 20-yard pickup, he'll have enough for the first down. And how about this, Luke? 4 of 4 for the Kingsmen on 3rd down.
Well, and most of those conversions came from forward passes. That cutback route was ran really well, gave him a wide open look.
Landon Hall, 7 of 8 through the air tonight. As the handoff goes right up the middle. As Wysong goes down to the 1-yard line. Be a 4-yard pickup. It'll be 2nd and goal. This will be the first scoring drive if the Penn Kingsmen can get this in. It'll be the first scoring drive that's been over 2 minutes for either team. Hall, he'll have Weissong in the backfield, and Weissong's going to go in untouched, and that'll be a touchdown for the Kingsmen. So Weissong with his third score of the year, and the Kingsmen up 35-7.
Well, the run game has just worked for Penn. You know, the offensive line, I've said it a lot, just doing their job. Getting the hole open just enough for something to happen, and Penn just keeps taking advantage of just any kind of positive gains on the ground.
So Harris Stipp on to attempt his 5th extra point. Kick is up, and it will be blasted through out of the... Oh, correction, the extra point no good, as Stipp is now 20 of 22 on the year for extra points. 34-7 lead for the Kingsmen with just under 4 minutes remaining in the first half. We'll step aside when we come back. We'll have more Knights football here on the Regional Radio Sports Network.
It took me a long time to be able to say Chandler has cancer, because that is such a scary word. When St. Jude finds something that works well with a certain cancer, they share that with everybody. And knowing that we don't have to pay for all of the medical expenses, that's huge. We just have to worry about helping Chandler, and he's just my heart.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures, saving children. Learn.
Back here at Otulski Field, J.P. Gilbert, Luke Schrock, Megan Keeble. So glad you could join us. The Kingsmen have scored every time they've touched the football and lead at 34-7 as Stipp's kick, end-over-end kick, will go right through the end zone, and the Marian Knights will begin their 6th possession of the game at their own 20.
Well, JP, personally, I have to say this is probably the most trucks I've seen gathered all in one place as it's going onto the track. But I mean, part of the halftime festivities of honoring a former team at halftime talked about in the pregame, but that looks like it's going to be quite the parade of trucks come halftime.
We've also got the cheerleading squads from all of the ICCL teams and schools here in the Mishawaka area. The Intercity Catholic League, consisting of all of the Catholic schools in the Fort Wayne South Bend Diocese, preferably in the Mishawaka area, as the handoff's going to go to Gruber, and he is to about the 24-yard line.
Just found a running lane there. Got to the outside, found an open lane, and just tried to power through as far as he could, and got a good gain out of it from first down.
So clock ticks under 3.5 to play in the half. The halftime, we will have the stats and analysis of the first half for you. We'll get you some scores from around the state, as Marr is going to keep it around the right side, and he is going to find the yardage to be tough sledding. He'll pick up 2 on the play. So 3rd down and 4. Marian 1 of 5 on 3rd down. And Penn's Wild Bunch defense living up to its name, especially here on 3rd down. As Marr will have Terrence Lane in motion. He'll hand it off to Terrence. And Terrence is not going anywhere, as Wrigley Hall and his buddies are able to wrap Lane up for no gain, and the Knights are going to be forced to punt. Although the last time Marian had the ball at this stage. Vinny Gruber threw a 78-yard touchdown pass. We can't throw anything by Marian in this one. So Fimble in. We've seen this formation all year. He does punt out of this formation. And Fimble instead is going to call his own number, and he is going to get wrapped up. It'll be a loss of 1. And the Penn defense stalls out the Marian offense. And the Kingsmen will take over. And it'll be 1st and 10 from the Knights' 24. So now, Luke, this will bring up the question. If Pete Reardon's squad can get the touchdown, do you go for 2 and get the clock to run to start the second half?
At this point, you might as well, especially with how much of a lead you have right now. If you can get it, cool. If you don't, I mean, at this point, you have not much to lose.
As Wysong with the carry, he'll pick up 4. So 2nd and 6 for the Kingsmen. Ball resting at the 20-yard line. Yodi Limberopoulos in at quarterback. Nearly loses his balance. And he will be wrapped up and tackled. As Adam Correnti, the first to meet him. That'll be a loss of 10. It'll be 3rd down.
Well, they just swarmed. You know, they got past everybody and really gave him a lot to handle. But it's what matters right now is how he responds right here on this play.
It'll be an official loss of 9. 3rd and 15. As Hall going to dip it out and making a man miss to the far outside is going to be Hernandez. And a flag down. It'll be a 20-yard pickup if it stands. So the Knights get called for a face mask. And that'll put the ball half the distance to the goal line. As now the handoff going to be faked. And the ball is in for a touchdown. Hernandez with the run. It's a 3-yard touchdown run. And the Kingsmen now have put 40 on the board in the first half. So the Kingsmen, who are now 5 of 5 on 3rd down, waiting Harris Stipp to put the extra point in. And the hold is down by Limberopoulos, and the kick is through the uprights and good. 14.4 remaining until halftime. Kingsmen lead at 41-7 here on the Regional Radio Sports Network.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, wherever the mission takes us, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for our nation, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Kingsmen go 24 yards, a minute and a half to lead at 41-7. And Luke, this has been complete domination by a Kingsmen team who have touched the ball 6 times. They put it in the end zone 6 times.
Well, it's a mix of physicality and just well put together offense. You can see Hall does very well in the passing game. He's had plenty of medium passes that have turned into long, large gains. And, we expected this coming in. We knew there was going to be some chunk plays, but Marian has had some instances of tight defense. But at this point, it's playing for pride. You just got to keep fighting and see and challenge yourself. You're fighting against yourself at this point. What can you overcome in these coming drives in the second half?
So the kickoff by Stipp goes into the end zone. It'll be a touchback. And the Marian Knights will send the offense out on the field. Mitch Fimble will be in at the helm. 1st and 10 at the 20. And looks like they're in the genuflect offense. As this will be the last snap of the first half, and indeed it will be. Kingsmen have touched the ball 6 times. They put it in the end zone 6 times. They lead it 41-7 at the break. We're going to step aside when we come back. We'll have stats and analysis of that first half, as it has been all Kingsmen here on Homecoming, as they also honor the 1975 Marian Knights squad tonight. As you're watching Marian Knights football here on the Regional Radio Sports Network, presented by our friends at LaUna.
We build Indiana. The Laborers International Union of North America are building roads and bridges to get Hoosiers where they're going today, and a new energy infrastructure that will keep Indiana competitive tomorrow. LaUna's over 12,000 statewide members also grow local economies, earning good union wages, shopping where they live and work, and paying taxes. We build Indiana for good jobs and stronger communities. The Laborers International Union of North America. We are LaUna.
Hold on, 10, 9, 8.
Did you know there's a place right here in Mishawaka that provides comfort and care for families of sick or injured children? Ronald McDonald House Charities of Mishawaka gives families everything they need, whether it's a hot shower, a comfortable bed, or a home-cooked meal. This allows parents to truly prioritize the health and well-being of their child. Because of people in this community just like you, RMHC Mishawaka provides their services at zero cost to the families. Find out how you can volunteer or donate to rmhcmishawaka.org.
It took me a long time to be able to say Chandler has cancer, because that is such a scary word. When St. Jude finds something that works well with a certain cancer, they share that with everybody. And knowing that we don't have to pay for all of the medical expenses, that's huge. We just have to worry about helping Chandler, and he's just my heart.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, wherever the mission takes us, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for our nation, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
They came from every corner of the country, from small towns and big cities. But they all shared one thing in common. They belonged to a family called Marines. A tough and determined few dedicated to protecting everything we hold sacred. And still, they come. celebrate the history of those proud few who have earned the title Marine.
There's always a moment of truth where it's either put up or shut up. We were yelling our hearts out. Even in our weakness, even in our pain, we continued to push. I don't know where the pain went to, but all I know is that I had what it took. I am a United States Marine.
PFC Darrell Willis serves his country as a Marine. Will you? Visit Marines.com or call 1-800-MARINES.
This is boot camp. This is the real thing now. You've never done anything so hard in your life. You don't understand how you can finish. It takes inner strength and desire to become a Marine. When I finished, I was like, I did it. The moment I will never forget is when this drill instructor that I admire so much comes up to me and said, "Good morning, Marine."
PFC Summer Volkman became a Marine. Can you? Visit Marines.com or call 1-800-MARINES. There are those who dedicate themselves to a sense of honor, to a life of courage, and a commitment to something greater than themselves. They have always defended this nation and each other. They still do. The few, the proud, the Marines. Searching for meaning in a relentless world. But there is another path where the battle to belong begins. Awakened by a calling, united by purpose, defined by the cause you fight for. No one can take away what it means to be among the few, the proud, the Marines. Learn more at Marines.com.
To be able to just get my son to St. Jude and not think about how we will pay for it, it just takes so much weight off of my family. St. Jude allowed me to focus on being a mom to Bryce. And sometimes I'm just in awe of the impact St. Jude has, not only on this community, but the world.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
To battle is to fight, to struggle, to overcome, and ultimately for the Marine Corps, it means to win. There is no alternative. It's not just a statement of intent. It's a promise to our nation. A promise kept for more than 2 centuries. A promise of the Marines. Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, wherever the mission takes us, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for our nation, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
I answered the call. Together, we fought for our nation and its people. And even though I no longer wear the uniform, I am still a Marine. My service has come full circle. I will continue to support my country and my community. Then and now, Semper Fidelis remains my promise. Always faithful, always Marine.
There is no easy way in. There are no compromises, shortcuts, or excuses. There is no backing down, slowing down, or giving up. There is no greater challenge and no greater purpose. There is no easy way in. If there were, it wouldn't be the Marine Corps. If you think you have what it takes to earn the title, visit Marines.com or call 1-800-MARINES. The few, the proud, the Marines. Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, we have served our nation as a force in readiness. From combat operations to humanitarian assistance in every corner of the world. No matter where the mission takes us today, or wherever our country needs us tomorrow, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for each other, for our nation, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Hi, this is Paul Condry of the Regional Radio Sports Network. That may be my professional title, but did you know that I'm also the son of a U.S. Navy World War II veteran and the proud father of a United States Marine? Let me share with you something very close to my heart. It's called the Semper Fi Fund, and its program America's Fund, which provides immediate lifetime support for post-9/11 wounded, critically ill, and injured members of the U.S. Armed Forces, veterans, and their families to ease recovery and transition back home to their communities. The Semper Fi Fund, serving those who preserve our freedom. The basic idea that drives these efforts is simple. For as much as our heroes have sacrificed, they deserve the best care and support available in their hour of need, whenever it may occur. The Semper Fi Fund, a 4-star charity and an A+ rating, has served over 16,000 members since 2004. The Semper Fi Fund, serving those who preserve our freedom. For more information, visit them online at www.semperfifund.org.
If the world we live in spoke to you, it would have a torrent of things to say. It would say meaning is subjective. Belonging? Just opt in. Be sure to comment and like. It would say followers provide purpose. We say there is another path, where you battle to belong, where there's a cause to fight for, where you earn a place among the few, the proud, the Marines. Learn more at marines.com. The fighting spirit of the Marine Corps is born of battles won. Battles won within, over enemies of fear, enemies of doubt. It's who we are. It's what we do. It's a promise made to you for more than 2 centuries. A promise of the Marines.
Have you checked? Beef O'Brady's in Granger now features Fish and Chips Fridays. Enjoy your fried cod fillets with fries and coleslaw for just $10.99. Located at State Road 23 and Bittersweet Road. Beef's is open for lunch at 11 a.m. 7 days a week. For more information, visit www.beefobradys.com or call 574-271-1415. Beef O'Brady's. Good food, good sports.
And this game is partially underwritten by McDonald Physical Therapy, located at 1005 Hickory Road in South Bend. And on the campus of the University of Notre Dame, McDonald Physical Therapy, proud sponsor of Marian Knights football. J.P. Gilbert, Luke Schrock, and the now multi-talented, well, she was already multi-talented. She's just adding more to her resume. Megan Keeble upstairs giving you the sights and sounds of tonight's game. It's homecoming here at Bob Otulski Field. And Luke, Penn, we knew they were going to be a handful, and they sure have not disappointed. 6 possessions, 6 touchdowns.
Well, it's been on brand. You know, in physicality, both the offensive and defensive line have made some great plays today, but biggest thing for me, outside of the chunk plays on the ground, Landon Hall has connected downfield very well, and we've seen Mitchell Fimble attempt some downfield plays through the air, and it's just so close to being able to combat. But biggest thing, you know, the chunk plays were going to happen. But once you got to the red zone, or once you had an opportunity, things started to go your way, were you able to respond? And Penn has just had too many tools in the box to handle, and Marian, they just haven't found anything outside of a handful of drives that has been able to get them down the field. I mean, you had that great play with Gruber's halfback pass, connecting with Terrence Lane in a almost wide open midfield, but got past a man, got into the end zone. That's something. Okay, you've seen that this has worked. Later down the line, that could be something that becomes a crucial play, whether that's first round of sectionals, whether that's later in NIC play. You're seeing that it works. You tried it. I'm sure you've attempted it or experimented with it in practice, but now it's figure out what's working against a very good team. Take that into next week and just keep battling through the rest of conference play.
Individual stats in that first half. The Kingsmen as a team have rushed 15 times for 61 yards. Blake Ewald with 3 carries for 18 yards. Landon Hall, 2 carries for 5. Jadon Parker, 3 carries for 13 yards and a touchdown. Buddy Hurley with a carry for 7 yards. Cohen Wysong, 4 carries, 24 yards, leads all Kingsmen rushers. He also has a touchdown. Yodi Limberopoulos, a carry for -9 yards. Colton Hernandez, 1 carry for 3 yards and a touchdown. Landon Hall, as Luke made mention, how about 8 of 9 through the air, 170 yards and 3 scores. He has connected with Buddy Hurley for 2 touchdowns. Hurley, 3 receptions for 53 yards. Mason Bernacki has 2 catches for 42 yards and a score. Jeremiah Mitchell, a catch for 39 yards. Colton Hernandez with a catch for 20 yards, and Jadon Parker a catch for 8 yards. 231 yards of total offense for the Kingsmen. They have had the ball 10 minutes and 59 seconds and are a combined 5 for 5 on third downs. For the Marian Knights, Vinny Gruber, 11 carries, 28 yards. Mitch Fimble, 4 carries for 17 yards. Terrence Lane, 3 carries for 15 yards. Lucas Marr, a carry for 2 yards. As a team, 20 carries, 62 yards. Mitch Fimble, 0 for 4 on the day passing. Lucas Marr, 1 of 1 for -2. And Vinny Gruber, 1 of 1 passing for 78 yards and the lone touchdown. Terrence Lane has caught both passes for 76 yards. As a team, the Knights, 138 yards of total offense. They've had the ball for 13 minutes and 1 second. When we come back, we'll give you some scores from around the state, and we'll tell you what both teams have to do here in the second half as you're watching Marian Knights football here on the Regional Radio Sports Network.
Childhood cancer it's a long road. It's hard, but St. Jude has gotten us through it. St. Jude is hope that you have a chance at life. And it goes such a long way for every child diagnosed with cancer because everything that's learned is shared all over the world. It's awesome.
Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
Come under the Gates umbrella for Michiana's best selection. New Chevys and Toyotas, plus over 900 pre-owned, only at Gates. Free umbrellas at any Gates location just for shopping. Rain or shine, you're safe under the Gates umbrella. Don't get soaked on your next car deal. Come under the Gates umbrella, where you'll have the best selection, the original lifetime warranty, and get more for your trade. Gates is #1 for a reason. Malibus, Camrys, Equinoxes, or RAV4s from $11,988 or just $199 a month. Free umbrellas at any Gates location just for shopping. New Chevys, new Toyotas, plus over 900 pre-owned, only at Gates. Rain or shine, you're safe under the Gates umbrella.
When I got here, I was amazed at all of the activity, people, and facilities at IU South Bend. I had no idea how much the campus had to offer.
I don't know what to do first. Should I join the student newspaper, play intramural dodgeball, or audition for a theater production?
I'm living on my own for the first time. I'm in student housing at IU South Bend. It has everything I need, and I'm making friends fast.
My professor's doing research, and I'm helping. I learn in the classroom, and then I put it to use in the lab.
I'm working on my master's degree at IU South Bend. I want to move up in my job and get my career on track.
I'm on a tight budget. I looked around, and IU South Bend is the best value for the best degree. No question.
My professors know my name. I can't get away with anything. It's just what I need.
Be a part of IU South Bend. Call 574-520-IUSB or visit iusb.edu to get started. Indiana University South Bend. Personal attention, the power of an IU degree.
Ever since I was a little girl, I knew I wanted to work for Oprah.
My experience at IU South Bend laid the groundwork for my career as a physician.
I was able to land my dream job at Bakery Baker Daniels, mainly because of the experiences I had at IU South Bend.
After graduating IU South Bend, I had job offers in Chicago and Florida.
IU South Bend really helped me foster my passion for teaching.
The academic rigor at IU South Bend really prepared me for the intensity of the real world and working for somebody like Oprah.
IU South Bend prepared me very well for medical school.
The skills I learned at IU South Bend I still use today.
In my time at IU South Bend, I quickly realized that I couldn't get a better education or experience anywhere else.
IU South Bend was a big part of my success and who I am, and I'm super grateful.
Beef O'Brady's in Granger now features Philly Thursdays. Enjoy a Philly cheesesteak sandwich with fries for just $10.99. Located at State Road 23 and Bittersweet Road, Beef's is open for lunch at 11 a.m. 7 days a week. For more information, the website is www.beefobradys.com or call 574-271-1415. Beef O'Brady's. Good food, good sports.
And tonight's game is partially underwritten by McDonald Physical Therapy with 2 locations on the campus of the University of Notre Dame and 1005 Hickory Road in South Bend. 41-7, Kingsmen lead the Marian Knights as both teams are back out on the field, getting ready for the third quarter. As we've got some scores from around the state of Indiana. Luke, what do you have for us?
Well, let's first kick it to the rest of the NIC that we can see. St. Joe leads South Bend Adams 28-0 in the second quarter. Kicking it over to the NLC, the Northern Lakes Conference. Mishawaka leads by a big 53-0 over Goshen at halftime. A barn burner out in Warsaw, Indiana, as Concord narrowly leads 17-14 after an update, a 10-7 game earlier in the second quarter. Northridge leads Northwood 7-0 back in the first. And in Duneland Athletic Conference play, Merrillville and Michigan City knotted up at 0 apiece, but Merrillville just scores still in the first quarter, now 7-0. Pirates lead Michigan City. Crown Point leads 12-0 over Portage. LaPorte leads Lake Central 14-0, and Valparaiso Chesterton shows no score in the first. Number 11, West Noble leads Fairfield 14-6, and that's it from an update over Indiana high school football in Northern Indiana.
We're going to step aside. When we come back, we'll get you ready for the second half of action here at Bob Otulski Field on homecoming for Marian High School, as you're watching Marian Knights High School football, brought to you by our friends at Liuna.
We build Indiana. The Laborers International Union of North America are building roads and bridges to get Hoosiers where they're going today, and a new energy infrastructure that will keep Indiana competitive tomorrow. Liuna's over 12,000 statewide members also grow local economies, earning good union wages, shopping where they live and work, and paying taxes. We build Indiana for good jobs and stronger communities. The Laborers International Union of North America. We are Liuna.
Simple enough. Ready? You got 9, maybe even less. You ready?
Yep.
Back here at Bob Otulski Field on the Regional Radio Sports Network, JP Gilbert with Luke Schrock and Megan Keeble upstairs with the sights and sounds from tonight's game. 41-7 in favor of the Kingsmen. The Kingsmen been able to do anything they want when they want. Marian has gritted their teeth, especially in the run game. They've really made Penn earn their yardage. It's with those big chunk plays through the air that Penn has really taken advantage of that defense. For the Kingsmen, the only miscue that they have had, so to speak, was that 78-yard touchdown pass from Gruber to Lane that made it 28-7. So for both teams, if you're Penn, you can use your depth in this game. You get the ball to start the third quarter as you get ready for the rest of your schedule. If you're Marian, you're trying to do everything you can to, one, make sure that you don't have the clock run on you, but also chip into that lead when you get the opportunity.
Well, and with the Kingsmen, I mean, they need to just give some of their depth some experience. At this point, you're up by enough. You have your cutoff point, but give some guys some chances, try some things, try out some things you may not have tried on your offensive scheme or defensive scheme. Give yourself a chance to learn and a chance to experiment. For Marian, at this point, give yourself an opportunity to learn from a top-tier defense and a top-tier offense. What can you do on the offensive side of the ball? I mean, we saw that with the Terrence Lane touchdown, the halfback pass. I'm sure they haven't used it too awful much, but what have you not tried yet to get positive yards? At this point, playing clean football, teaching your guys, okay, this is the shortcomings that we have right now, and just build upon, take this into next week.
As the kickoff to start the second half, taken by one of the up men and busting through a hole down to the 45, down to about the 40, tackled by Terrell Lane. As Jeremiah Mitchell on the return. And the Kingsmen, like they've started so many drives already tonight, will start inside Marian territory. And remember, if the Kingsmen get the lead to 35, that clock will run. So Penn will have the ball, 1st and 10 at the Marian 39-yard line, as the white smoke from the student section of Marian has gone forward and gone forth to the Penn section.
Well, they've used their blue one back on the touchdown by Terrence Lane. So I'm wondering what all other smoke they have to pull out.
As Limberopoulos will be the quarterback to start the second half. As down to about the 23-yard line. Braden White on the reception. It'll be a 15-yard pickup. 5'11", 155-pound junior on the pickup. And it'll be 1st and 10 from the 25, from the 20. As Limberopoulos will hand it, going right off the middle. That'll be Ewald going up the middle. That'll be a pickup of 6 for the senior. And it'll be 2nd and 4 from the 14.
And that's just piling through the middle. Just using the physicality, getting extra yardage after contact, and they've been doing that all first half.
And Ewald now 24 yards on 4 carries. Limberopoulos is going to put it through the air. It's going to be a first down for the Kingsmen. They'll be inside the 10, about the 9. As Penn allowing the clock to just melt away.
Well, any tackle you can get inbounds, Penn is going to take. I mean, at this point, you got to find a way to get them outside of the sideline and stop the clock to give yourself some time to work on this deficit, but
as Richard Gary was on the reception, flag on the play. As Wysong was trying to get into the end zone for the second time tonight. And laundry aplenty on the field. As the officials, James Craig, James Payne, Mark Herberger, Chris Green, and Jalen Harris. There'll be a personal foul face mask. And the Knights, third penalty of the night. And that'll be a 3-yard penalty after the play. Wysong with a 3-yard pickup. It'll be first and goal from the 1. As Limberopoulos will hand it off to Ewald. And right into the end zone for the touchdown. So a touchdown makes it 47-7. And Harris Stipp going to give way as Luke Cadott now coming in as the second string kicker. And Cadott, as the snap is high, but whistles aplenty before the ball was even snapped. And it'll be offsides on the Kingsmen on the extra point.
And that's best case scenario for them there. The snap goes high. Luckily, you still keep possession and get another shot at the kick, but the key for both right now is just learning to play clean football and limiting mistakes for when those mistakes will matter a lot more later down the line in the season.
So Cadott, he'll get a second chance at this one, and he'll blast one up. And it's through the uprights and good. 9:38 remaining in the third quarter. 48-7. Kingsmen now lead it as you're watching Knights football here on the Regional Radio Sports Network.
Do you know there's a place right here in Michiana that provides comfort and care for families of sick or injured children? Ronald McDonald House Charities of Michiana gives families everything they need, whether it's a hot shower, a comfortable bed, or a home-cooked meal. This allows parents to truly prioritize the health and well-being of their child. Because of people in this community just like you, RMHC Michiana provides their services at zero cost to the families. Find out how you can volunteer or donate to rmhcmichiana.org.
It took me a long time to be able to say Chandler has cancer, because that is such a scary.
Back here at Otulski Field, the Kingsmen take 2:22 off the clock. 5 plays, 35 yards. And for the long kickoff return by Jeremiah Mitchell, a 1-yard Jadon Parker run makes it 48-7. As Cadott will send one deep. And Lane's got a lane. And he's to the 30, 20, 10, and touchdown. Terrence Lane, 92-yard kickoff return for a touchdown. And just like that, it's 48-13.
Terrence Lane figuring out how to just make something happen. Great read. There was 2 or 3 different lanes he could have taken down that right half of the field, and he just hit the burners and just had his sights to the back end of that end zone. Well done by Lane on that return.
As Oliver Seeger to kick the extra point. That one is up, and it's good. And it's 48-14 in favor of the Kingsmen. 97-yard kickoff return officially by Terrence Lane. Two big plays. The 78-yard touchdown pass from Gruber to Lane. And Lane goes 97. He's trying to make a case for player of the game for the Knights.
If he hadn't already.
That was an incredible run. He got a couple of nice blocks, and he had a lot of green in front of him, and he goes the distance. So 21 seconds after Penn had made it 48-7, Lane makes it 48-14.
Well, and that's a testament to everybody hitting their assignments, blocking downfield. Giving the lane great physicality and letting your ball carrier just take care of the rest.
Lane's longest return of the year prior to tonight was 17. But Lane decides he's going to quadruple that and then some. And we will still be in a running clock situation as we are going to see some fireworks blasting off from the west end zone. As cheerleaders with the pom-poms, hopefully nobody gets hurt. But in any event, Marian still trailing 48-14, but those two touchdowns have been things of beauty. A 97-yard kickoff return and that 78-yard trick play. Gruber to Lane as Sager will set the ball up on his own 40. As the Knights go from left to right, and Sager is going to blast one into the Mishawaka Knight. And coming up to the 15, 20, there's flag on the play as a couple of Knights are down. And ball's going to be spotted inside the 45. As
and Terrence Lane is calling for someone to come out. He took off his teammate's helmet quickly as the trainer is heading out there too.
We're going to step aside while the injured Knight is being looked at. 8:23 remaining in the third quarter. The Kingsmen lead Marian 48-14 as you're watching Knights football here on the Regional Radio Sports Network.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, wherever the mission takes us, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for our nation, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
They came from every corner of the country, from small towns and big cities. But they all shared one thing in common. They belonged to a family called Marines, a tough and determined few dedicated to protecting everything we hold sacred. And still, they come. Celebrate the history of those proud few who have earned the title Marine.
Back here on Regional Radio Sports Network, J.P. Joubert, Luke Schrock, Megan Keeble with you. 8:23 remaining in the third quarter. As it's good to see Braden Cerny coming off the field under his own power. As the Kingsmen will have the ball, it'll be 1st and 10 back on their own 10-yard line. It'll be a block in the back. It'll be a 10-yard penalty block in the back. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Kingsmen. Remember, the clock is rolling. As flags aplenty before the snap. And it'll be a false start on the Kingsmen. So the Kingsmen going the wrong way. And with just under 8 to play in the third quarter, Kingsmen up 34. Clock is running because the Kingsmen did hit that 35-point threshold on their first drive. Limberopoulos in at quarterback. He'll hand it off, and the carry is going to go about 4 yards. As Chase Buckwheat with the carry.
Well, Adam Corrente, great job out of the backfield to recognize being the last line of defense on that run up the middle and put a big hit on the end of that play.
So Chase Buckwheat, the 5'8", 169-pound junior, gets a 5-yard pickup. It'll be 2nd and 10 from about the 16 as Marian, as Penn gets players on and off the field as Buckwheat goes up for 6. It'll be 3rd and 4. Penn was 5 of 5 on third downs in that first half. As Limberopoulos in the shotgun. He'll hand it right back to Buckwheat. And it'll be interesting to see where the spot is on this one. And they'll get the first down on that. As the Kingsmen get the first down. As the clock continues to roll as we're under 6 minutes to play in the half. We're in the corner, rather. As Gabe Steve into the backfield. Correction, that's Tate Clark. 15-yard pickup. So he had 108 yards coming in, long of 25, but he's gone back-to-back. As flags aplenty again. And it'll be another false start penalty against the Kingsmen. And I got to believe if you're Coach Pete Reardon, that's probably been the biggest Achilles heel of the night for your squad, as you don't want to be going backwards at any time. But the Kingsmen have 6 penalties already in this contest.
Well, Reardon was talking about in the pregame interview that they wanted to limit the mistakes because it's going to matter coming down the line.
As the pass outside is complete. Be a 6-yard pass.
But also Reardon talked about specifically in the Valparaiso game. They picked it back up against Mishawaka, but he wanted to clean things up because later down the line, when you get into sectionals, regionals, whatever, it's going to matter how clean of a ball game you end up playing.
Pass was complete to Braden White. That'll be a 5-yard pickup. It'll be 2nd and 10 from the 36. Clock continuing to just disintegrate. As the run around the left side of the line. As now with 3:50 to go. It'll be 3rd and 4 for the Kingsmen as the Kingsmen going deep into the 2 deeps here. As Limberopoulos is going to throw it, and it goes incomplete. It'll be through the hands of Braden White. And that's the first third down that Penn has failed to pick up, and they'll bring out the punt unit. And Luke Cadott is going to come back to let one fly. And, of course, Mr. Electric Terrence Lane, who has a touchdown of 78, a touchdown of 97. He's making camp at his own 25-yard line. Snap comes down, and the kick goes to Lane. Lane will pick it up at the 30 rather, and he'll get tackled. Mrozinski, rather, as Lane kind of shielded away. So Mrozinski will bring it out to about the 35 after about a 5-yard pickup. And Marian will have the ball 1st and 10 at their own 35. So Marian was able to hold the Kingsmen on that drive. And now the Knights will take over 1st and 10 at their own 35. 2 minutes remaining here in the third quarter. It's trips to the right for Fimble. Fimble gonna heave it downfield and out of reach of his intended receiver. That was Colin Van Poppel, the 6'2", 162-pound senior.
Possibly some miscommunication on that route there. He tried to throw it to the outside shoulder, deep nonetheless, but with that route, it was better to throw that lower into the left, the inside shoulder, trying to hit him at that cut, but nonetheless too far for the pass.
As Fimble in the shotgun. Here comes the handoff. As shedding a couple tacklers is going to be Gruber. And he'll pick up a couple. Those are 2 extremely hard-earned yards.
But there's also nothing more frustrating. You got met in the backfield, you break a tackle, you're feeling good, and you want to compound on it, and then you get met by 5-6 white jerseys that bring you down close to the line of scrimmage again.
The fast numbers going on the clock. 2 hours left as Fimble's in the shotgun as the Kingsmen are 1 of 6 on third down tonight. Fimble, he's going to roll out to his right, and he's got a swarm of Kingsmen, and Fimble, running for his life, is able to throw that one out of bounds, and the Knights are going to be forced to punt, and that will be the last play of the third quarter. 48-14, it's been all Penn all night long as the Kingsmen look to roll to their 5th straight victory on the year. We come back, we'll give you the fourth quarter as you're watching Kingsmen football, or correction, Knights football, here on the Regional Radio Sports Network.
There's always a moment of truth where it's either put up or shut up. We were yelling our hearts out. Even in our weakness, even in our pain, we continued to push. I don't know where the pain went to, but all I know is that I had what it took. I am a United States Marine.
PFC Darrell Willis serves his country as a Marine. Will you? Visit Marines.com or call 1-800-MARINES.
This is boot camp. This is the real thing now. You've never done anything so hard in your life. You don't understand how you can finish. It takes inner strength and desire to become a Marine. When I finished, I was like, I did it. The moment I will never forget is when this drill instructor that I admire so much comes up to me and said, "Good morning, Marine."
PFC Summer Volkman became a Marine. Can you? Visit Marines.com or call 1-800-MARINES.
Start of the fourth quarter here at Otulski Field. JP Joubert, Luke Schrock, Megan Keeble with you on the Regional Radio Sports Network. As the punt from the 37 is going to be received. And the Knights will take over at about the 46-yard line. Sager's punt goes 48. 21-yard return on the punt. Penn will take over at the Marian 46. Sager has averaged just over 45 yards a punt tonight. As Limberopoulos, he's going to scamper. He's got a lot of real estate. He's to the 25, 20, 10, and he is in for the touchdown.
And that was just a high snap he was trying to make something out of. I'm not sure if that was a designed quarterback run, but you definitely have an argument if it was. But nonetheless, he just rolls out to the right, finds some wide open real estate, and just takes advantage of it.
So by technicality, a minute 14 came off the clock because the clock ran immediately. But one play, 46 yards. Limberopoulos with a 46-yard touchdown run. Cadet on for the extra point. As the snap is up, and it's no good. As the Kingsmen now lead it 54-14. So both Cadet and Stipp have missed extra points in tonight's game. Kingsmen still up by 40 as we're awaiting some scores from around the state of Indiana. Couple of big games in the NIC. Of course, future Penn opponents, St. Joe and Elkhart. St. Joe all over Adams, 35-0. What a season Ben Downey's squad has had. Shutout of Marian, a shutout currently of Adams. They shut out Fort Wayne Southside.
Well, we do have an update of a barn burner down south from here. Northwood edging out North Ridge 8-7 down in Napanee in the third quarter. Mishawaka adds a couple more points to the board in the third, 59-0 over the Goshen Redhawks. And Concord, Warsaw, still 17-7, Concord Minutemen.
As Cadet's going to let one fly. And Terrence Lane tried to one-hop it. Instead, he'll pick it up at about the 9. And he's going to get wrapped up by a batch of white shirts. And the Kingsmen will take over, or correction, the Knights will take over. The 1st and 10 at the 10. Want to make mention that the next broadcast of Marian Knights football will be in a couple weeks when the Knights host the Elkhart Lions on October 10th. I'm going to try my hardest to swipe Luke Schrock away from his job, get him here for another matchup. Going to try to do the same with Megan Keeble upstairs. Megan has done an absolutely outstanding job this year. As the snap's going to get handed off to Lane. He turns the corner. He's got a lot of real estate in front of him. To the 40, to the 50. He's in a foot race and tackled down. And Braden White with the tackle.
Well, you saw Lane just start to pull away down the line, but if you watched Braden White during that whole that whole play, he had made up some real estate really quickly. Once he got close, he just inched further and further, and it wasn't a matter of if, it was when he was going to wrap him up and get him to the ground.
56 on the carry. Terrence Lane, his third big play of the night. And he is all of 5'5", 137, as the option is going to be held by Fimble. Fimble will pick up 4.
And even if he does pitch it there, you might have gotten 1 or 2 yards. You had about 2 or 3 white jerseys down the line, or about to be down the line, ready to pounce. But at that point, you probably got the best result out of that option run.
2nd and 6 from the Kingsmen 30. Ball on the left hash mark. And it's a bad snap, and Fimble is brought down. And the helmet comes off. As making the tackle is going to be Alex Wright.
Oh, man, Wright just wrapped him up from the neck area from the beginning. Yeah, he got both arms around. As he came down, that's where that helmet came off. But, my goodness, he came in with a vengeance.
So the Kingsmen bringing Fimble down. It'll now be 3rd and 12. And Lane out of the Wildcat. We could call it the Wild Knight, as he'll pick up 4. Marian is now 1 of 8 on 3rd downs, as Lane will pick up 3. And Coach Davidson, he's going to throw caution to the wind here. He's down by 40. Why not go for it? 4th and 9 from the 33. Yard to gain is a 24. He's got trips to the left. He's got Vinny Gruber right behind him. Kingsman showing blitz, now backing off. Fimble. And he is going to get wrapped up and wrestled to the turf.
Jonathan Searfoss with a huge tackle there to get the turnover on downs. But he was hit on the way to Mitchell Fimble. So the block was almost there. If that block did come, there was a chance he could have scrambled and got some yards with his feet, possibly even the first down, but just was got bumped off the block and just went in for the tackle. Well done on that sack.
11-yard loss. Penn takes over on downs, as Penn will be more than content to just continue to run down the clock. As Marian will take a timeout, and they'll just use this one to take their starters off, and they'll get their backups in. As Marian will talk it over. We'll take it with them. 4.5 to play in the game. 54-14 Penn. As you're watching Knights football on the Regional Radio Sports Network.
There are those who dedicate themselves to a sense of honor, to a life of courage, and a commitment to something greater than themselves. They have always defended this nation and each other. They still do. The few, the proud, the Marines. Searching for meaning in a relentless world. But there is another path where the battle to belong begins. Awakened by a calling, united by purpose, defined by the cause you fight.
4.5 to go here in the fourth quarter. As the Kingsmen in their running package, as Limberopolis will hand it off. And cutting back to the 40, now to the 44. That'll be Elijah Stith. 6 carries for 33 coming in, long of 15, but Stith picked up 22. He now has 25 yards on the game. As again, Kingsman going deeper and deeper into the depth chart. This one, Steven Traeger on the carry. Traeger picks up 7. As, again, the Kingsmen getting everybody in on this one. Mind you to stay tuned. We'll give you the final stats. We'll name the players of the game for both teams. It's going to be a little difficult to name them on both teams, although I got a pretty good idea about the Marian player of the game as the ball is on the ground, and Limberopolis is going to somehow manage to gain positive yardage on that one. As the keeper by Austin Schmidt. Is going to go for 4. And now Schmidt with the handoff. As the ball will be inside the 10, down to about the 7-yard line. James Savannah with the carry. It's his longest carry of the year. As they have gone now to their third-string quarterback. As the Kingsmen leading by 40, 54-14. Schmidt. He'll give the handoff, and a hold, and multiple flags from the same official. And it'll be hold. You don't normally see that. You see the flag out of the back pocket, flag out of the front pocket.
Hey, wherever you can get it.
There'll be a hold on the Kingsmen. That'll come back 10 yards. 7 penalties for 50 yards for the Kingsmen. If you're Coach Pete Reardon, that is not something you like to see.
Got to give credit to Savannah, though. He read the defense very well in that end around, and he got some positive yardage out of it. So, I mean, that's the whole purpose of what they're trying to do right now is give experience, and right there, there's a learning moment and a positive that can come out of that play.
1st and 18. As the Kingsmen in the genuflect offense, and this may as well be the last snap of the game. And Schmidt is going to take the snap. He'll take a knee, and that will, in fact, do it. Final score, 54-14 in favor of the Penn Kingsmen. When we come back, Luke and I will put a bow on this one. We'll give you the scores. We'll give you the stats. We'll name our players of the game, and we'll get you out of here as you're watching Marian Knights football right here on the Regional Radio Sports Network.
Ever since I was a little girl.
Did you know there's a place right here in Mishawaka that provides comfort and care for families of sick or injured children? Ronald McDonald House Charities of Mishawaka gives families everything they need, whether it's a hot shower, a comfortable bed, or a home-cooked meal. This allows parents to truly prioritize the health and well-being of their child. Because of people in this community just like you, RMHC Michiana provides their services at zero cost to the families. Find out how you can volunteer or donate to rmhcmichiana.org.
It took me a long time to be able to say Chandler has cancer, because that is such a scary word. When St. Jude finds something that works well with a certain cancer, they share that with everybody. And knowing that we don't have to pay for all of the medical expenses, that's huge. We just have to worry about helping Chandler, and he's just my heart.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, wherever the mission takes us, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for our nation, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
They came from every corner of the country, from small towns and big cities. But they all shared one thing in common. They belonged to a family called Marines, a tough and determined few dedicated to protecting everything we hold sacred. And still, they come. Celebrate the history of those proud few who have earned the title Marine.
There's always a moment of truth where it's either put up or shut up. We were yelling our hearts out. Even in our weakness, even in our pain, we continued to push. I don't know where the pain went to, but all I know is that I had what it took. I am a United States Marine.
PFC Darrell Willis serves his country as a Marine. Will you? Visit Marines.com or call 1-800-MARINES.
This is boot camp. This is the real thing now. You've never done anything so hard in your life. You don't understand how you can finish. It takes inner strength and desire to become a Marine. When I finished, I was like, I did it. The moment I will never forget is when this drill instructor that I admire so much comes up to me and said, "Good morning, Marine."
PFC Summer Volkman became a Marine. Can you? Visit Marines.com or call 1-800-MARINES. There are those who dedicate themselves to a sense of honor, to a life of courage, and a commitment to something greater than themselves. They have always defended this nation and each other. They still do. The few, the proud, the Marines. Searching for meaning in a relentless world. But there is another path where the battle to belong begins. Awakened by a calling, united by purpose, defined by the cause you fight for. No one can take away what it means to be among the few, the proud, the Marines. Learn more at Marines.com.
Back here on the Regional Radio Sports Network at Otulski Field, J.P. Gilbert, Luke Schrock, and Megan Keeble. The Kingsmen of Penn High School defeat Marian 54-14. Scoring came early and often. It was Penn scoring on the first 6 times they touched the ball in the game, and they were off and running. It was 41-7 at one point, and they held on for a 54-14 win. Team stats for the Kingsmen: 30 total carries for 201 yards. They were led by Limberopolis, who had 2 carries for 37 yards. And Limberopolis played sparingly in the first half and played all of the second half. Landon Hall, 8 of 9 for 170 yards and 3 scores. Yodi Limberopolis, 3 of 4 for 28. 3 receptions for Buddy Hurley for 53 yards and a touchdown. Marian, 26 rushes for 109 yards. Terrence Lane led all ball carriers and had a game-high 74 rushing yards. Lane also caught the only 2 completed passes for 76 yards. And Vinny Gruber was one of those quarterbacks in quotations as he took the pitch and threw it 78 yards to Terrence Lane for the 78-yard touchdown pass. Lane also returned a kick 97 yards to the house for a touchdown for Marian. So one thing left to do, let's name our players of the game. And for Penn, you can go up and down the lineup. You can name any one of them. But one player in particular caught your eye, and I'm sure his dad wishes he could have caught 3 passes when he played at St. Joe. It's Buddy Hurley from Penn.
Absolutely. He was really able to do just about anything he wanted on the ground game, and that was the base of that offensive attack. Most of the time, Penn was attempting runs time and time again and getting some sort of a positive gain out of each time. And, it's a combination of Hurley and in Hall, because without Hall's passes, I mean, you had that two-dimensional offense, and, they mixed in the RPO. They had the chance to hand it to Hurley again if no one was open downfield. So, I mean, Hurley, he just was able to do whatever he wanted in the ground game.
And for Marian, we talked it over in the commercial break.
It was tough.
It was very tough. But I'll tell you what, when you have over 250 all-purpose yards, you run for 74, you get a 78-yard touchdown pass, and, of course, you go 97 yards on the kickoff return. Kind of hard to not give you the player of the game, and that's Mr. Terrence Lane, all 5'5" of him. But I'll tell you what, he played big tonight.
Well, he utilized his speed to get open. It didn't happen every play. It didn't probably happen as often as he wanted to, but he had 2 explosive plays, one on that return for a touchdown, and then the pass wide open over the middle back in the first half where, he was met one-on-one. He had his whole front side wide open, able to make that catch, but he still had to spin around to get past a Kingsman in order to get that wide open green for the touchdown. So he had to make some stuff happen for those 2 explosive plays to occur. But on that kickoff return, I mean, you still got to give credit for the blocking for a wide open lane.
Yeah, you do. And when Lane got the blocks, he was just taking off all night long. So that's going to have our players of the game, Buddy Hurley of Penn and Terrence Lane of Mishawaka Marian. Next game for the Penn Kingsmen, they are at home at Freed Field. They'll take on the Adams Eagles. Our cronies from down the hall, they'll have the game. It'll be Tanner Camp, Matt Lilliard, and Matt Copsey on 91.1 FM The Globe. Marian will be at Schoolfield. They'll take on South Bend, Washington. Next broadcast of Marian football will be on October 10th when they take on the Elkhart Lions. Want to give a shout-out to our sponsors, United States Marine Corps, Ronald McDonald House, Beef O'Brady's, McDonald Physical Therapy, Lyuna, Troy Gill, Jamal Packaging, and the Durrell family, Hoosier Spring Company, Notre Dame Federal Credit Union, and Heroes Nutrition. We want to thank our coaches Pete Reardon and Mike Davidson, athletic directors Steve Ravato and Kyle Hanazeski. That's going to do it for our coverage of Marian Knights football. Once again, for my broadcast partner, the great Luke Schrock, and Megan Keeble upstairs, my name is J.P. Gilbert. Once again, the final score, Penn 54, Marian 14. From all of us at the Regional Radio Sports Network, we'll see you in a couple weeks.